Right, okay. Now I've been asked to do give you an example right here of my rotten bottoms, right? Because there's a lot of misinformation out there right here, and all they're trying to do is make you lose gear so you buy more gear. Think about it. Right. You don't need all these posh beat clip rotten bottom. I call them snag risks right here for obvious reasons, right? Come on. Right, and you use a weaker. Don't use £20 breakaway right here if you've got £20 mainline, right? It's as simple as that, yeah. Right, this I got £20 mainline on my. I got ASO bulletproof £20 copolymer on my line, right? Doesn't stretch, right? It's like braid, solid stuff, amazing stuff. Mono, just mono damages when it stretches, right? Okay, anyway, right, this is mono, that stretches, right? You want that, right? And then the other thing they don't tell you as well, right here, is put a knot in it. I'll show you that why in a minute. Okay, right. Now then, the other thing's all right here is the rougher the ground you fish, okay, the longer you want this piece of line. Doesn't really matter how long the line is, right? When it's all, you can twist it, right? You twist that line, right? If you've got a lot of it, you twist it. Just twist it with your weight. You spin your weight. Does that look? Compacts it, right? And obviously it'll unravel in the water. Right. Okay. Now imagine this is the bottom of your trace. Okay. It's the bottom of your trace. Right, so what you do, right, is you tie. You're going to tie that end of the line there, right, onto the loop there, right, or whatever goes on the end there, right. I'll show you the other one as well. This is just for extreme rotten bottoms, right. You don't want to lose a load of gear, and you don't want things like this, right. I made this, right, because it saves paying for them right here. If you I sussed it out right here. The snag risks, especially if you put them on these things here, right. I don't even rate these. Like that on top of that, right, in a rocky ground, right, they're gonna snag up. Okay, so you're gonna lose all your gear. Right. Another tip as well, right, if you're fishing over rough bottom, you cover your baits, you cover your hooks, right, with the bait. You don't have no hooks sticking out like you do over like on sandy beaches or whatever. Fishing over rough ground, right, yeah, you cover as much as you can, and you use little metal work as you can, right. Them things, you don't want to use them. If you're going to use a bait clip, right, imps you want, right, because you can do exactly the same with the imps. Tie that end onto the bottom of your imp, okay. That's the breakaway, right, even though you can still use that as a bait clip. So you keep that in mind, you can still use that as a bait clip, right. So you've got all you've got on the end of your rig. So that, right, and your bait clipped on, and it all comes off, boss, right. That's that, you know, you're not going to be bothered about losing your weight then, right. Other one, these Gemini clips, right. You only really need to use these if you're using blank leads, non-grippers, right. and you still use them the same way. Okay, like that, right? Now imagine that's just your blank lead, right? Clips on like that, it comes off. Okay, that's that, right? Okay, so you don't tie them upside down on your rig like that, because it's a hook, especially if you're using them big ass fucking big bait Gemini clips, right? You don't even need them. You use a smaller, I mean, there's even them ones, look here, they're even smaller, look, right? That's not how you set them up. Even that's a snag risk. Right? Snag risk, look. It'll bury itself in rock, that. Or into like a kelp stem or whatever, like, yeah. Right? So that's basically right, yeah. Your bottom bottom setup. That's if you're distance casting, get onto distance casting now, right? You put a swivel on the end of there. Now, if you're distance casting and you set up a distance casting, I recommend you tie that swivel on. Okay, tie it on. I'm sorry for the poor quality, boys, but the phone's just like a boom. Anyway, right, and then you can put another hook. You can put your hook on there as well, and then the whole thing comes apart, right? And you set up, okay. So there's that, right. Like I said, right, you use a weaker breakaway link to your main line, like a 14. This would work with a 15 and an 18 pound line as well, right? If you've got 20 pound line, and then I'll show you now, right? See, snaps off on the knot. So all you're going to do is lose your weight. If a fish has got your, I mean, even if a big fish picks up your bait, you know, and your weight's snagged, all you're going to lose is your weight. You're not going to be snagged in, or jammed in sideways or whatever with these things. Because when they hit the deck, when they hit the bottom, the seabed, right, and you let it drop, the whole thing relaxes. You don't know what you're landing on, do you? Right? You could be landing in the middle of a ton of kelp. You could be landing in jagged rocks like that, yeah? Going in the crevices, you don't know what you're landing in, do you? Unless you're a diver and you go down and have a look, but how many anglers do that? None, probably, but there you go. You could actually adjust them for estuary fishing, right? Because you can, when the tide's out in estuaries, you can go down and examine your ground. These big tides just been now would have been perfect for that. But yeah, that's how I do my rotten bottoms, like when I need to do them. I don't like losing gear, and I bet none of you do either. Even worse, don't like losing fish. Do you get me? Especially like, oh no, I'm snagged up, and the fish is on the end of the line. Right, you know what's happened. These things are snagged into the rock, and you're not breaking away. So then you pull away, you pull your line, it snaps off, right, and all you're bringing in is your main line. You know you've got a leader there and probably about 50 yards of main line, flapping around in the tide, and a fish on the end of the hook. So then when you cast back out onto that mark, you're gonna snag into these things again. Especially with the leader flapping about in the tide, because you remember we know what the tide is like in the water. It's like wind, yeah, and it carries things. So you got that flapping around in the tide. You cast out, and you start reeling in. Have you ever seen a whip effect? Where you catch something that quick that the line wraps around, right? And then you're like, oh shit. That happens, right, with fishing line on when you've got leaders flowing on the tides as well, right? So there you go, that's how we're doing them, boys. Hope that helps some of you out, like, yeah. Because it is a bit of common sense, really, like, yeah. You don't want to be paying, oh yeah, I'm going back to that market, but I've got to go and buy a load of gear again, right? You can go to that market, right, with nothing, basically, right? As long as you've got these LEDs and the Gemini clips, but use them properly, right? Use them the right way up, and Geminis. For blanks. So what they're telling you, right, yeah, anybody else that tells you any different, right, yeah, they're wrong. I've had years and years, I've had decades of experience doing this, right? I know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to sell you anything either, right? So, there you go. Actually, if you've got any common sense, right, you do this, right, yeah, and not buy them sort of things. Well, I mean, the reason, like I said, right, yeah, I was buying them. I was buying them Gemini ones. I stopped buying them. I was like, because I was losing them all the time. I was thinking to myself, you know what, right? And I thought, right, I can't afford to buy them. I was struggling to buy them at the time. So I got a YouTube channel up. Bought some gripper wire. This is a thicker gauge, this right here. That's your OG gripper wire. In fact, that's off that weight, yeah. Full of mud. And that's off that one, like, yeah. Right. Thinner gauge, that actual gripper wire for them. That was for something else. That was like, yeah. But you can buy them in bits of 10 like that, right? Cut them in half and make them with a sliding bead. Saves you buying them and wasting your money. It costs a £5, right, for all them. Because of inflation and all that, you know. But you know, that's a lot cheaper. That's a lot cheaper option than spending a tenner and getting 5 for them things that you're going to lose anyway. Fishing over rough ground. Another thing's alright, I don't rate these either. That must be modified, right, yeah, to be slack like that, right? And sometimes they don't deploy. I've had it multiple times with these rigs, with these solos, right? But I've cast out and they haven't zipped up to release the hook. So I've had quite a few chucks out there, like, and I wasn't even fishing. Let down by them. They're the boys, the imps. They're the ones. It's even on upside down that, but that's what I eat. Right, you want to use them, and then, like I say, the Geminis, they'll clip on there, just tie your line on. And don't put the clip on top of the knot either. Right, you want the knot on the side. Okay, otherwise the weight of the cast is going to weaken the knot, and then you could just end up with a broken knot and your gear's floating away. Exactly the same, but if you've got that big clip on there, you don't really need to use them, like, just use the naked end like that, yeah, with a swivel or something on the end there. Right, there you go, boys. That's the best way to do your rotten bottom rigs, unless of course you like losing gear and leaving a mess on the mark under the water with gear everywhere, and then you're snagging into, you know, and other people coming along like doing exactly the same and losing their gear, and you end up with like technically a ghost net underwater, like, because there's line everywhere and all that, and hooks and baits and whatnot, like, summer's coming, like, so marks are going to be busy this year once the sun picks up, once the weather picks up a bit, yeah. That's it, yeah, I think, yeah. That's how you do your rotten bottoms, boys. Right, thanks for watching, all the best, and tight lines, boys.